Magic with Melly on Melly Monday. It is November 22nd, 2021. This reading is meant to be timeless, so disregard the date. It's just for record keeping and to keep up on Mondays. But they are timeless. So whenever you are finding it, as long as the message resonates for you, you can trust your discernments or your judgments, or that there's a message somewhere in here for you if you're tuning in. It doesn't have to be every single message. This is a general reading meant for my collective, so not everything is going to be able to resonate with everyone. There has to be some sort of margin of error. And so in the thumbnail, you may have seen me holding this Two of Swords and the Magician. Underneath as well is, because this was the back of the deck here, Two of Swords. Right behind Two of Swords is this Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Magician and the Lovers, which the Lovers was a new thing I noticed. I didn't know that was under there. That's spicy. So this message is for my divine feminines. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you are what your gender is, if you are male, female, trans, whatever. Divine and masculine energy, we all have it. We just have one more of one energy or the other. And so without having to go too deep into that, let's just go for it, okay? So these are your oracles that I shuffled out before the oh, hello. I think I see a chat, but I don't know if I'm able to see them. Oh, there we go. I fixed it so I can see your chats. Lovely. Hey, Andrea, thank you for coming. So this is a channeled message for the divine feminines. And so definitely, if you resonate with feminine energy, you're in the right place. I am planning on doing a divine masculine message. If not today, then maybe tomorrow. I plan for them to come out back to back. So I'm doing this one. It might be tomorrow. It might be next Melly Monday. We shall see. But this one's the Divine Feminine one. And I hope you tune in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the Oracle cards. Okay. And I recognize you as naturally blessed. Okay. She is a lovely feminine in my life on my journey, and so if you want to check her out, she is Goddess Glow Gems as well on Instagram, because I don't think her personal Instagram is going to save on there. But just to start, okay, I'm going to get going. It's going to be this card, Unfinished Symphony, number 10. So there's some unfinished business, right? Because this is a love reading for my feminines, not for you, number 6. Now, don't get too worked up about the situation here yet. Okay, let me just show you. We have number 1, Yang. And prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. This one came up upside down in reverse. You and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. Work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. And confidence is your key to success, new moon in Leo. Now, I haven't shuffled out any tarot yet. I was still, I'm like tongue-tied, so definitely some throat chakra situation in love when it comes to love, especially because I see blues and purples, maybe just not speaking up, or speaking of out of confidence in our situation, like our most intimate situations, right? Because it's probably really easy to communicate with those that the communication is quite shallow or superficial, or like you can't get to, like, you talk about other things, don't talk about yourself. Because intimate connections is, the way I resonate with it is finding more about yourself, like finding part pieces of yourself in other people. And sometimes that can create a block if you're only like looking for yourself in other people. uh, some expansion, like if I have some individuals that are looking to grow or expand themselves or learn new things, but they always feel stuck in the same things. And that's because of, I'm just intuitively downloading, so I'm trying to get it out as fast as possible and as clear as possible, so it's not all like jumbled up. But it's sort of uh a way to grow is really diving into considerations or diving into research or learning more about things that maybe you uh, would go, I would never do that, or I don't like that, that's not, but it's like, do you really totally not like it, or is it just because you never tried it or never gave it a chance, or didn't go too like deep enough in it? Maybe just the block is the connection stays superficial, or you stay superficial with others to the point of you're only looking for your own self in other people or things that you have in common. And with feminine energy in general, I think I really I really resonate myself as a divine feminine and someone that tries to resonate or connect with everybody and understand people and love people the way um I guess I hope to. And if I'm if I know I am that, it's easy to it's easy to open that part up because you already practice those things. But if you're looking for because this isn't, I not all messages are for everyone. So this is like the portion where it's like the feminines that are looking to specifically grow and they're feeling blocked in that way, as an individual perspective, like outside of dealing with another partner, male or female, or whatever you identify with. But for the individual divine feminines that are on that path, it's a matter of considering things that you've previously said you didn't like and maybe never gave a chance because maybe you actually did not like those things. But it's fine to change your mind. It is fine to realize something new, and like that is the reason why you change your mind. Like maybe more information came in and you warmed up to a situation, or you had enough time with it to realize, like, you realize something was realized there. And it's maybe the missing piece is just expanding a little bit more, reconsider things that you previously just wouldn't have ever considered in your past. And it's just like, if you're trying to change things with yourself and with the love in your life, uh it does start internally, and the blockages are really really hard to get a pinpoint on, especially if you're the only one working through it, and there's not an outside perspective to help you either psychoanalyze a little bit, because you can't, it's impossible to psychoanalyze yourself because your own way of thinking is like, you can only operate off of what you know. And so being open to even another perspective, now shifting into messages for divine feminines that have a counterpart that they're considering, like being able to work with, seeing from their perspective. It's hard to do that because we have our assumptions, we have our projections, excuse me, about the throat chakra. There's been, and okay, going into the cards though, okay, we have unfinished symphony. So there's like energies of it, something feels incomplete, whether it's you or the situation between you and another person. It feels like there's still stuff that needs to happen between you guys. Not for you. This card is really giving me vibes of taking action towards, or taking action against the things that are not for you. And that may be where with the unfinished symphony, something not feeling complete. For the divine feminines, or for any feminine, like, you know, if you resonate mostly with feminine energy, just having a caring, loving, nurturing energy. Where was I going with that? This not for you energy is all about, what I'm picking up is all about not being action forward when it comes to your feelings in general. When things feel like they're right for you, being more assertive and confident and like, I deserve that, so I'm going to get it, and I want to be successful, believing that you will be successful, and being like, reminding yourself that it's not only this energy of not everything is for you that comes your way, and you can have power over the type of energy that you choose to be around you. You don't have to like transmute energies all the time if you're not in comfortable practice with it, rather than, and it just makes you exhausted, because right, transmuting is just an action, it's energy. You're taking a negative energy or a positive energy and channeling it to a point where it's like you channel it or redirect it so it becomes the energy that you want it to be. So it goes both ways. If you are a pessimist, any most positive opinions are going to repel you, and that's like transmuting positive energy, you know, into something else, or like just it negates it. It could go either way. I think that there's always the goal is to remain balanced and peaceful, but when you have feelings, they are feelings. There's good and bad feelings, and you need to experience bad feelings to understand or appreciate good, and have the good so that you can tell the difference from the bad. And so I'm trying to mainly stay on track here, but being more action forward towards, yes, this makes me happy, I will be more assertive towards it. And no, this does not make me happy, it makes me feel like awful. If it makes me feel like shit, and I need to do something about it so I don't feel that way. And that comes from like knowing that you deserve a better energy or a better situation, or, you know, just being pieced out in the situation, just zen, you know, like don't even but moving forward, okay, because I already shared about the Moonology cards. I showed them before, but I'm just going to remind you of them since I spent so long on those ones. So we have prosperity lies ahead. You and your loved ones are safe in reverse. I feel like this is just a fear, okay, because we have the work through your fears card again. So it's just like this belief that having love or feeling love is a bad thing, but that's just because you That's a like sort of a conditioning based off of how your past experiences have been. And that's not going to be the case. All of our experiences, individual or with among friends, family, in our intimate relationships, in like, romance and sexual partnerships and things, the feelings can get really intense when what you do with them is like the way you react. That is in your control. You do not have to act on your feelings. Addressing them with time as well can really give you the space to figure out what the next move actually should be. Because if you are really reactive, the situation can be volatile and sensitive based off of, especially if for those feminines that really resonate with fear and feeling endangered in love situations, really turning into, and I just noticed, actually, this is crazy. Okay, I'm going to layer this so you see. All 4 of these cards are new moon cards. So there's a huge energy for me about revival, which definitely just resonates with even the title of this reading. I didn't even I didn't specifically notice this about the cards, but it's resonating with me channeling that this channeled message was even going to be about refreshing, the feeling of love, the feeling, and it applies however you want to apply it. It doesn't you don't have to be in a really intimate relationship. Your super intimate relationship that you're considering here could be the one for yourself. Okay, so however the types of messages, or however I'm delivering the messages, or even the concept behind like the bigger picture of it, apply it how you see fit, and just know that confidence is really key for success. You cannot make I don't want to keep saying like you cannot, because it's like such a negative connotation, but it's really important to have confidence behind your decisions, because it does strengthen it just strengthens you when it comes to your concerns. If you have concerns, speak up about them in confidence. Like, really understand what about the situation is triggering your emotions. Like, is it a good emotion? Is it a bad emotion? Where does the situation, where I just got like download. Okay, so with the channeling here, especially on the track that I was going in with, like just experiencing your positive versus your negative emotions, going back in time for yourself and remembering the very first time you felt that emotion could be really healing for a lot of our feminines, or just any individuals that come to this reading. Maybe that is a very important message for you is, wow, when was the very first time I felt this type of emotion, and what was the situation, like what kind of a wound did it leave, and how have I been operating because of feeling that way. A great example, I suppose, is me being a child, and I'm literally a child. Okay, like I only had so many years to like be developed and grow in and stuff, and singing, and mind you, I had not had singing lessons, and of course my voice is going to suck, especially if I'm shouting or screaming and not actually singing. So I was told to shut up, but that was like in adulthood now, I realize, well, of course I was told to shut up, but as a kid, you maybe internalize it because as children, we are very young and everything is so pure. Every emotion is so pure, every action is so pure. And so, with certain wounds, and they weren't taken care of initially, that could really build on layers. And before you know it, you don't realize how much deeper it went. And that's just sort of, without getting too deep, the importance of maybe understanding your feelings and how far back that feeling started from you, or to some degree. If I speak too much, it may be too specific for the generals. But this is Mother, Father, God, Opportunity, and Change. Okay, and then we have Control, Reverse, Crown Chakra, Joy and Stability, number 4. I have 8, 7, and 4. Well-deserved reward, red. Root chakra, your intuition, crown chakra. For some of my friends who are new to chakra energy, maybe look up ways in which you can get healing in that way. I offer some if you're curious and want to reach out for that, but this isn't about that. I'm going to keep going. All right. For some of our feminines, okay, crown chakra. I mean, like, then I feel this can be a common occurrence, especially in an intimate setting. Your crown chakra, lots of thinking, lots of trying to figure out what is going on, not only with you, but because we are always kind of trying to figure out what's going on with ourselves. That's why, like, we always do it subconsciously, like it's always kind of there. But then when it comes to managing another person, that energy can be double fold or triple fold, depending on how many people you have on your mind or how many people that you care about. And so when it comes to matters of the crown chakra, Spirit is having me mention to come back into control. Here we have the control card in reverse. It's not very fun to feel like your thoughts are out of control or that there's a lot of things out of your control, but that's just, how do I word this? The ability to transmute, if you're doing it really often, right? My track that I was on before about, like, just if you're always turning an energy around or turning yourself around or turning situations around, or you're doing this for another person, you're not, like, if there's always some diversion towards your happiness or towards stability, something's always being changed around, something's always been unhappy. I don't know how much of this is specifically resonating, like, you guys, everyone take in your own unique situations, but we all deserve joy and stability, but is granted by how much work you put towards this energy. And so if there is a lot of pessimistic individuals in your life and you wish to be more optimistic, maybe take some time and space away from these individuals so they can figure out their own negativities apart from you. Some element of being exhausted or feeling exhausted in someone else's energy may be because you are taking in their concerns and their worries when they're not yours to begin with. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with that. That's just coming from caring and being connected to them. But doing the job of turning their thoughts around for them. Like if they have a pessimistic view about something and you have an optimistic view about something, if you share it, it can come across as like maybe toxic positivity in some degree. And I only mean that because I'm not very I'm not the most confident at this whole toxic possibility concept, like all this research and psychological terminology. But from my, I guess, explanation about it is that if someone is in a negative energy and do not wish to exit their negative energy, that's where your positivity is toxic to them. And vice versa. I mean, like negative people are just toxic in general, but negative people will make everything toxic. And so it will make a positive situation, like your positive energy, it will intoxicate that. And so just you may feel really exhausted because that you're putting a lot of energy in that interim and not seeing a feedback or a result, and it's because they didn't ask you to try and change their mind about their perspective. If they like they maybe they're sharing their mind, and that's just kind of it's a heavy topic to try and deliver, knowing the difference or even starting to realize the difference between when someone is ready to change their energy around, like when they're ready to transmute. Because a lot of our divine feminines, we're really amazing at taking care of others. That's just the nurturing vibe of feminine energy. And so maybe the key message, for some in the collective is to refresh love, is to realize when positivity would be toxic for an individual, because not everyone is with practice of transmuting, and transmuting in general could be a new concept for a lot of you, right? If you've never really like with the out of control thoughts, okay, habitually overthinking, and your mindset always goes to a negative perspective for some of us, or some things, we need to secure more of our situation in order to feel safe, whatever it might be. See, we have opportunity and change. Okay, before the row that I was working on, opportunity and change, mother, father, God, right? Just balancing the difference between like balancing your choices. There's always an alternative method for everything. If you are overthinking, you can think less. I know it's easier said than done, but it is possible. And so if you put your energy towards, all right, I don't feel good, but I want to feel better. So then take an action to feel better. But it comes from maybe like the self-awareness and realizing that there is an alternative thing to do. If asking another to make you feel better when you are not energetically doing even small actions, like I have so many things downloading at this time. And just examples. I can just move over on that, because the like I have just okay. I'm getting kind of distorted or like broken up messages. I feel like that's just more of this unfinished symphony card, okay? Incomplete feelings, or an incomplete situation. Something needs to finish, or something needs to come full circle, or I know that I was like on a track and I kind of lost it. So I feel like that's just some of the energy coming through because I'm supposed to pick it up somewhere in this reading for you. Now, I don't know if oh, I was talking about balance. Okay, mother, father, God. Mother, okay, so this is the feminine and reading because I did mention I was going to do the masculine reading soon, maybe next Melly Monday or within the week. But the mother, father, God is this card, and I'm yet to study the booklet. I really enjoy letting myself be exposed to the cards and find meaning for myself and then kind of see if it resonates in the guidebook after. And so with this mother, father, God in this reading, bringing in more masculine energy, right? Especially with we have this yang card, having more masculine energy to suit your feminine energy. If your feminine energy is overpowering, that's where you may be getting a lot more thinking about the situation. How do I take care of this person? How do I get them out of the situation? How do I make them feel better? Um, you're doing the job for them. And that's where maybe being too caring or too loving can that's where it you only feel that way because you're exhausted because you're doing it for somebody else. You're allowing them to be a little some weight. Now it's going to be different for how like for every situation, but there's some scale of laziness that you are allowing by being too readily available to fix for others or do for others, especially if maybe they didn't come to you asking specifically for help. There is I previously had trouble with this is I always thought that people were coming to me for advice, but that's not always the case. Some people only need to talk and they don't need your input at all. And so really coming to terms with having control over these situations a little bit more, controlling your crown chakra, not going there too often. If you realize you're thinking a lot, then go in a opposite, go in the direction of what could I do to that would help get my mind off of things, because it is not healthy for me to think this often about the same thing. Having thoughts is not the enemy. Having feelings is not the enemy. It's what you're doing with them, the action that you're, carrying around it that may be problematic, especially with the yang. When I was talking about the yang card and bringing in more masculine energy, that masculine energy is very action and powerful, like action forward and powerful and direct, to the point. Uh, so for some, resonate masculine with like tough love or just being tough or in control. And yes, control reverse. So it's like having more control over any dominant energy that's occurring for you, right? If you are recognizing you are too upset, you are too caring, you know, paraphrasings and things, then see if the change is something you resonate with. Caring about someone isn't an issue, but maybe, like I was saying, doing the caring about themselves for them is not healthy for you because they themselves are not caring. carrying after themselves. So then you then are responsible, making yourself responsible for taking care of yourself and also them. And then keeping in mind, are you taking care of yourself before you're coming to the needs and wants of others? And with my mothers, right, the mothers that will be in this reading, it is absolutely, of course, kids first, but can you really be kids first if there isn't a you, if there isn't enough of you? You know what I mean? Like, that seems kind of extreme, but like, there are mothers out here straight up not eating or not drinking enough water, all sorts of layers of things because there is neglect for yourself. And that, and as much as that, as little as that may translate to your children as neglect, like I don't doubt our our divine mothers, or our lovely mothers out there are bringing in neglect towards their children. Like I don't think, but I it can ripple, right? If the energy is in you in some element, the energy can ripple out. So just be very mindful of that, because children are very pure. One experience can really shape something for a long time, and that's just me drawing back to like the first time I ever got told to shut up because I was screaming singing. I didn't know how to sing, and it's like, of course I don't know how to sing. I'm only a child and have not experienced singing lessons, or people other than my parents or people other than my family. And so it's just like, just really recognizing the extent to which taking care of yourself first is actually essential. And it sounds like it counteracts the whole children thing, and I wouldn't try and negate anyone's opinion. It's just the, at least not intentionally, only with good intentions, if anything. And so just maybe the realization that a small energy can get rippled out, and if the energy within you is small and there isn't cognizance or like understanding surrounding it, you may be applying it and not realizing it as well. But all is well if you communicate, right? If you communicate, hey, mommy or daddy, for the parents there, because again, we don't want to be only females, or saying that only females hold feminine energy, right? Men hold feminine energy too. And so it's like, if for the parents out there, communicating with your child, um I have I have feelings too. I have been feeling not good, and because I do not feel good, I blank, like whatever the situation is. But with children, not understanding something can really just deliver uh like when the wound occurs, they don't know what, like, why or what, or like they don't know anything about the situation. All they know is the feeling. And that's where maybe avoidance can come with children, and growing into adults, the prolonged not understanding of the situation, right? Because when I went back in time and shared about the singing specific, like the specific singing experience with just not just my dad, just anybody, right? Like a negative experience can really shape something. And now in my understanding, I'm like, of course I sang bad. Like, why did I internalize that for so long? That is an of course thing because of my like situation at the time. And that's so the importance of, once you've healed, maybe going back. There's so many messages in this reading. I love it for the collective. It's really heavy energy though. I'm aware that there's just, especially in an intimate setting, right? Managing another, you have your own set of things to work out, whether it's inner child wounds, whether it's just big situations happening, because we have all the new moons in the Moonology deck. So lots of new energy, right? So just yes, there's a variety of situations. I know I want to specifically talk about, our singles and our single feminines, where the energy is new, like in a connection. Okay. um you feel really insecure because you just need more of the situation, or to ground something that is what you want, right? Because maybe insecurity can stem from a number of things. If you feel as though you're in a solid connection and suddenly you feel insecure about something, it could be something that was carried and not addressed, and you wonder why in something so solid it doesn't feel so solid. And so maybe address a cycle that's gone on. But with our, that's for the relationship feminines. The ones that are, excuse me, throat chakra stuff. So, it may be hard because some of our feminines deal with masculine energies that are controlling in a manipulative way. Female, male, whatever gender it is, the masculine energy, right? Because this is the divine feminine reading. The masculine energy can be, control is a good thing, but too much control is then an imbalanced masculine energy. It's an unhealthy masculine energy. And so I just want to warn the ones in a relationship where your insecurity feels thrown off by intentions. If you open up and speak up and you get the energy that you want and the results that you want, keep trying at it. If you actually see someone going through the work on themselves, like, being progressive in that way, by all means, don't, keep trying, but make sure that the situation gives to you in the way that you deserve, well-deserved reward. Because insecure just comes with reminding you that the situation needs more security, or you need more security, and it's in your power, or you're in control to seek that. And where you seek it is up to you. You can seek more of it in the connection that you're in, within yourself. You can seek more of it in a totally different connection, or a different totally different situation. Whatever it is for you, the power is more in your hands than you believe. And when I looked up, I saw 4334. So that is a great just number sequence to see at that time, because 4s are stable and 3 is about working on yourself, so working towards stability. And then again we have the joy and stability, so and a 4 there, so resonating. Dancing in the rainbow, break free from whatever you feel is holding you back, express happiness, find out what you truly desire. Okay, so like lightening up. Okay, the heavy energy, because especially with wanting to renew love, right? It just feels, it had maybe felt lost within yourself, or with a connection, or in life, whatever it is. Breaking free from that. Okay, dancing around, how good dancing feels. And who cares if you feel awkward? Like do it when no one's watching and see what happens. Just throw on a song that like makes you do this a little bit or go and maybe do like flail around a little bit more and see how that changes your energy a little, even if a little bit. And then if you keep doing a simple task as that as practice, whether it's dancing, whether it's taking a breath, like, taking not just one breath, but taking several, really, really deep breaths, or drawing, or doing that happy thing that you do, that thing that, always changes your mood. Like, be conscious that that is within your power, just the same as it is in your power to lay in bed or in the couch all day and, not go out. Like, you can start small. It can be, I want to go out, I want to go on vacation, or it can be as little as I'm going to go walk around the block. It could be whatever you want, but the every step counts card, it's going to matter no matter what you do. If you're crying and you're like, I'm really, really sad, it may take a moment, like it may be something you have to be very conscious of and be like, I'm going to smile right now, and it's going to feel so fake, it's going to feel so not natural, it's going to not be, but just the act of doing it already shifts the energy, and then you grow from there. And that can be applied to any degree or any depth of emotion. It will just be required different amounts of practice in the opposite or appropriate energy for there to be results, but the results will be there. Just with this every step counts, it will count towards the thing that you want, and then just bringing in the consistency so that the growth follows through. We are, as human beings, or any living thing, any living being, we have to be consistent when it comes to watering ourselves, right? We drink water and we bathe ourselves. And like plants, okay, we water ourselves, and then we also feed ourselves. And like for plants, their food is the sun, and you need to shine a little bit more, do things in the opposite energy, in light, loving energy. We had amble with contentment, waiting rather than acting is going to be most advantageous now, but it was in reverse. So either this is a message where, specifically with contentment, that the inaction, wherever it is placed, because some of us don't do enough happy, some of us don't do enough to counteract when there's negative, in which I guess is the same thing, but taking more action, just as I kept saying previously. But see, with the seahorse, okay, the seahorse, when I was learning about the seahorse as a child, the males carry the babies in the natural dynamic of reproducing with seahorse. So it's like, if you want more of this caring energy from the masculine, on the masculine side, the result would be, for some, okay, waiting to, if you've done too much action, okay, if you've done too much action towards the masculine, then waiting is your message. But if you've not done enough action, then this card is saying don't wait anymore. Like, you need to take action now. Like, it's not okay to be so content with a situation that is not fine. Okay, Caribou. Perseverance, resourcefulness, movement, determination. Okay, about taking more action or less action, just being resourceful and ultimately determined. What do I want? What is it that is, stopping me from getting what I want, and how can I adjust or change things so I can get what I want? Like, this bigger picture kind of moment I'm ending up with as far as energy for that card. Masked Owl, insight, wisdom, foresight, messenger. So here it is, folks. The information that you need, at least as far as channeling out possibilities for our feminines to refresh ourselves, really rejuvenate and reveal about love. I wanted to make sure there wasn't more I wanted to add to that, but let's keep going. Faith. Okay, albatross, faith, endurance, journey, and hope. Oh yeah, okay. I keep saying I do have an issue with that. But that is something I wasn't aware of or I was aware of it, but I forgot because I don't get to see myself from outside of these eyes. And watching my Melly Monday from last week, I realized I do say a lot. And so maybe watching yourself more and believing in what it is that you want happening, but not being too destructive when you don't see it exactly how you thought it would pan out. If you receive the energy, holding on to a specific way you expected may cause resistance against the beginning or towards the energy that is coming in, or that is trying to come in for you. And I just saw 5252 on the screen. So just based off of the numerology there that I mentioned, 5252 is with you and another person doing too much to lock it down can really bring in some striking energy, like just sudden energy that maybe wouldn't make sense for the other person. Because they're maybe getting to know you, and if you're delivering energy and you're not aware of your own action or your own energy, or like what about it is repelling, or what about it is causing you to feel blocked, right? Just come into ways in which you can just being open to a new way of operating, or a new situation, or a new perspective, some sort of thing with information, whether it's with yourself or about another person. There's all sorts of layers of situations. So I just don't know how it applies, and I'd love to hear about the specifics in the comments if you ever feel like sharing, safe enough for sharing. But this I didn't show it, I realized, but I was talking actually about this fire card with the destruction and beginning. You could be really destroying an opportunity by having a really specific, really specific expectation. The simplest thing to do is express yourself and let whatever come your way, and only accept what it is that you want. You don't have to accept what you don't want. You know, you don't have to. It's just some of us come to accepting some of these things due to impatience, which was a message I had last week on impatience. So just be mindful and patient as well, but that was last week's message. This is Creative Solutions 13 in reverse. So think outside the box, view things from a higher perspective. Mahatma Energy 29, build your light body, accelerate your extension. What did I say? I said something about the light before. Just, I don't know where I was going to go with that. Hang on. Build your light body. Tuning into the light. I don't know, just having creative ways to bring in something new. It could be as small as being more interested in a sport and you didn't like sports. It could be a number of things, you guys, but I'm going to have these oracles. It says one of you is doing too many fucking chores. That person better get laid now. And I feel like that's just for the intimate couples, for the couples in general, for the feminines that are in couples, however that should be worded. Oh my goodness. But it's just for especially the ones where I was saying you may be taking on someone else's baggages or carrying their stuff for them, you know. You're giving too many fucks. Give zero, okay? So, you know, care maybe less about their situation and care more about you if you're feeling really exhausted around others. And be mindful that maybe they're the ones kind of taking up a ton of your energy. Fucking say it. Resentment kills the magic. So it's like if you don't even say it out loud to yourself, which is for me, saying something to myself is so that I could become aware of it or aware of something or remind myself of something. And so maybe tell yourself, I don't want to hold resentment towards this person. I need to know so I'm not holding, right, because this is about love, so you're not projecting and like thinking a situation is happening when it's not even happening. You know, maybe you never even said anything about having this idea that arrived in your head, or just maybe even sharing, hey, I'm having struggles because your situation reminds me of this. I need to be validated because I don't want to be in that situation again. What can you say or do, you know, or even find out, you know, this is what you can say or do more often to get me to not struggle in that regard. Because every connection, like, you have to have more trust that not every person is like out to get you or victimize you or you know, have bad intentions at heart, especially if they're new. For our feminines that are in new connections, okay, the situation is really volatile. It's very sensitive because of course you feel insecure. Okay, you didn't ground this connection. You know, don't know enough. So try and find more before you hold resentment in an energy or in a situation where where it's not needed, okay? If it's not needed, right? Your person's going to be really confused, be like, "Why do you feel that way?" You know, and why do you feel so strongly in that way? Like, I wish I knew you. I wish I knew sooner that you felt that way. XYZ, XYZ, okay? Love the one you're with. This includes you, okay? Bare your fucking soul, okay? Trust, share your crazy dreams, wishes, and passions, because how are you going to know if they feel the same if you don't even share how you feel? It isn't personal. It's just not always about you. And with some rejection, okay, maybe it's not about you specifically. It could be just their set of wants. Like, if you're rejected, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's just that some desires and needs will not be met to like that person's standards. Like, because your standards and their standards, they're what they want and need, what you want and need. Maybe you only saw yourself and couldn't, or like back to kind of the beginning energy where you saw a lot of yourself in another person. But if you didn't see the bad things, or what could, what wasn't, what you weren't working with, what you weren't open to, it may be just a sudden change for you because you only saw yourself. And the other person maybe was seeing you and them and saw maybe like, like it's not always only about you. If you only saw yourself in another person, you're gonna be like, oh my God, they're perfect. Oh my God, they're perfect. But then if you kind of take them down from a pedestal or remove all of your elements or neglect the elements that like, I don't know how to deliver that. That's such a spirit. You gave me such complex messages today, but we all are complex beings. And so when it comes to understanding, at least understand you, so that when there is a misunderstanding, you can be clear on your end and then be able to say, hey, this is what is unclear for me on your end, and kind of working through that and being more direct and addressing and having control over what is not in control. And that comes from being able to see it, and it just, I don't know how or in what order. I don't want to I don't want to have it be redundant or say it in I feel like I keep saying it in such a chaotic order, because it could be this plus this for one individual, or like A plus C, or A plus B, or C plus A plus B, but sometimes Y, like for situations. And so I feel like I'm coming back to topics earlier in the reading, but it's just that if there was stuff that you weren't seeing, maybe if there was a change, if someone just closed the door on the connection for our singles, or for any kind of, for that situation, just be mindful. Maybe you didn't see something that they did, and it's not necessarily about you. Maybe they just saw that they wouldn't be able to give you an energy that you were looking for, and you couldn't see that because you were blinding. You're kind of keeping a blind eye because you didn't want to see it. But it's maybe the person saw it and they decided that the best way to love you was to let you have what you want, and they knew it couldn't come from them. And so just, this could be that it isn't personal. It could be personal in that way, that they saw that they couldn't provide for you, and it wasn't because it was something bad that you did, or anything wrong that you did, or anything like that. It could be a whole loving movement for you to actually be able to love yourself. And that ending message is so profound. I never really dove into this, but the Magician, I feel like just manifesting love in whatever regard for the divine feminine, like being able to bring it in and kind of, and just come out of illusions and really being real and authentic with it. Okay, I am so very thankful and blessed to read and channel for you guys. Thank you if you tuned in. Andrea, aka Naturally Blessed, aka Goddess Glow Gems. She's a business owner, a crystal business owner. Tune in for menus in the future from me on chakra balancing. Or you ask me directly, okay? Because I really want to help some of you with your chakras. We have the crown chakra that's definitely overactive. So just let me know what I can do for you in terms of healing, reading your cards, working with crystals, talking things out. You know where to find me, Magic with Melly on Instagram, Patreon, here on YouTube, and wherever. I'll see you guys around. Let me know, okay? Bye.